Hi, this is Sarit Switzer, and welcome to the It Is Taught podcast, a podcast devoted to the teachings of Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi as recorded in his most famous work, the Tanya. My hope for this show is to make these teachings accessible and relatable to the average person, regardless of prior Jewish education or affiliation. The episodes follow the prescribed daily study portions and are meant to serve as practical lessons in how to live your life as your true self and develop an authentic and powerful relationship with your Creator. I have personally experienced the effects the study of this work has had on me, and I'm excited to share what I can of this knowledge with you. So please join me on this journey of learning, self-growth, and connection with your source. Hi, and welcome to the It Is Taught podcast. This is episode 180 for the 20th of Iyar in a leap year. So I want you to take a moment and think about people in your life who you really love, people who are very close to you, most likely in your family, maybe it's a close friend of some sort, and think about the last time that you really felt very compelled to go over to them and kiss them. Maybe this is your spouse, maybe this is your sibling, maybe this is a good friend, maybe it's a child, maybe it's a niece, a nephew, something like that. So think about what happened there. What was it? What was this compulsion within you that you just wanted to go over to them and display your love to them and give them a kiss? Most likely, there was something within them that you recognized at that moment, something within them that really aroused this love of them in your heart. And so what we're going to be learning about today is this type of feeling that we can get towards God. And we've been building up to this quite a bit. If you've been following along in the episodes so far, we've talked about this a little bit previously, about this idea. We talked about hugging God and kissing God and what that means. And today we're going to talk about this really in the context of what we've been discussing so far in relation to the Shema prayer and in relation to this meditation that we've been having upon what the Shema prayer is all about and upon this idea of how God is contracting himself constantly and setting himself aside in order to make a world for us, for the sake, all out of his love for us and all out of the sake of wanting to have a connection with us. And so today we're going to continue along these lines, and we're going to take it, the Alter Rebbe takes it to this next level where he says that when a person really meditates upon these ideas and comes to this recognition of what God is doing and the extent to which he has to put himself aside and who God is and what's going on behind the scenes in order to give us a world and give us a life, this will naturally arouse us a love of God that will make us want to kiss him, literally want to kiss God. And so we're going to talk about that today as to what that means, that we want to kiss God, and how do we do that? How do we actually kiss God? So let's get into the text. And for context, again, we are still in the middle of chapter 49. We're nearing the end of the chapter of Likkutei Amarim. And so here we go. So the Alter Rebbe says that here, when a thinking person takes it into their heart and mind and really meditates upon everything that we've been learning so far in this chapter. So go back, please, and listen to previous episodes if you haven't already, if you need a little bit of a review. So meditating upon this whole idea of how God sets himself aside to create the world, and how this is all done out of his love for us and wanting to have a connection with us and wanting us to connect with him, then this will naturally lead to a state of kemayim hapanim lapanim, which is this phrase that we've used before, which means like water reflects face to face. So the idea of that when you look into water and you see your face being reflected back at you, this works with hearts also, that if a person reflects love to you, then you want to love them, and that this will elicit love in return. So love is a contagious kind of thing, and it mirrors itself. So basically when we recognize God's love towards us, this will cause within a thinking person who really thinks about these things and meditates in depth upon these ideas, this will cause an arousal within the person's soul, and he will become vested with a generous spirit to want to give over and put aside anything which is in opposition to God and only cleave to God. and to become totally encompassed in God's light with a very strong yearning to cleave to God in a way of a kiss. And this is what the Alter Rebbe says, in a way of neshikin, of a kiss. And what is a kiss? And we talked about this before. It's the pkut rucha berucha. This is the attachment of spirit to spirit, as we talked about above. So again, when you think about a kiss, when people kiss mouth to mouth, they're exchanging breath. So it's their spirits are actually connecting one with another. It's not just their lips. So then the Alter Rebbe asks a question. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we connect spirit to spirit when we talk about God? What does this mean exactly? So he says, for this, we actually have to look back at the Shema text that we've been studying. And if you look into the Shema, so once we get into, so we're past the blessings now, we're in the Shema itself. It says that you should love God b'chol levavcha, with all of your heart. And then it goes on, and it also with your soul and with all of your might or possessions. Then it goes on and it says, V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, which literally means, and these words should be upon you. So meaning to say that in order to love God, the Shema is teaching us that we need to have certain words upon us. So what does this mean? What is this and what is this referring to? So first of all, the Alter Rebbe explains, he says that it's explained in the Eitz Chaim that this union of a kiss, the main union that's happening in this spirit to spirit union is the union between a person's mind and the other person's mind, of the Chochma Bina Dat of one person and the Chochma Bina Dat of the other person. So really, when you think about two people kissing each other and there's this exchange of spirit, so the Eitz Chaim explains that this exchange of spirit is not just like just spirit in this like just kind of abstract sense. It's actually the when we say that it's an exchange of spirit, they're actually exchanging the level, their intellects, their minds in a certain way. And so when we relate this to God and we want to connect with God by way of a kiss in this way, well, we have God's wisdom. We have God's Torah, right? So it means studying the Torah and concentrating on Torah. So when we really learn Torah like we're doing right now, this is a form of exchanging spirit to spirit with God, which is a type of kiss. And then the other part of the kiss, obviously, is the mouth, right? So it's like you can only call it a kiss if there's an actual mouth that kisses. And this mouth that kisses, what is this mouth? This mouth, what does the mouth serve? This is where the spirit comes out of. Like when I'm speaking right now, the speech, my voice, my words, my exhalation is coming out through mouth. So this might sound really obvious, but it's good to break it down in this way. And so when we say this, when we talk about, okay, so the mouth is the expression, when we say that this mouth that kisses also serves to express words. So this is the aspect of speaking words of Torah, which is why we spoke about elsewhere that it's not enough to just learn words of Torah like in your minds. Like whenever we study Torah, we really try to say the words out loud because there's something really powerful about the idea of speaking the words out loud. So that's the end of the section for today. So just to recap, we were talking here about this idea of how when a person really meditates upon everything that we've been learning so far. So it's like when we learn Tanya, it's not just supposed to be this like superficial read, but really we should be meditating upon everything we learn and think about it in our daily lives. And when we do that, when a thinking person does this, this should arouse them to have this feeling of wanting to kiss God. Just like if you see somebody that you really love and you have this compulsion to want to kiss them. And what is a kiss? We talked about and we broke it down is that there's two main aspects of the kiss. There's the aspect of spirit to spirit exchange, and there's the aspect of the actual mouth touching. And so the spirit to spirit exchange was explained deeper by the Eitz Chaim that this is actually the Chochma Bina Das, the intellect of the person, so that when there is a union that is in the form of a kiss, what's happening is actually a unification of the intellects of both individuals that are kissing. And then the aspect of the mouth is where the spirit actually becomes revealed through speech, through actual voice and speech. So in terms of connecting with God on the level of a kiss, This would mean, firstly, that we want to connect our intellects with God's intellect, and that's through studying the Torah in a deep way and really meditating upon the words that we are studying. And then secondly, to actually make it into like a physical, manifest, like tangible kind of kiss. That would mean actually speaking the words of Torah out loud. So that is it for today, and we will continue tomorrow when we conclude chapter 49, and I will speak to you then. Thanks for listening to the It Is Taught podcast, hosted by Sarit Switzer. This podcast is dedicated in loving memory of my maternal grandfather, Avraham Yitzchak ben Binyamin HaKohen of blessed memory. Music by Shoshana. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to support the show, please share it with others and subscribe on YouTube, Apple iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And make sure to leave us a 5-star review. To find out more about the It Is Taught project, including more information on my soon-to-be published book, please visit our website, itistaught.com. To catch the latest from me, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Looking forward to speaking with you tomorrow, and until then, have a great day.